level image enhancement is the topic of this lecture. Before this lecture, we have already discussed about spatial domain image enhancement method. So intensity level image enhancement method is the method under spatial domain. Because there are two types of methods, which are spatial domain and frequency domain. In frequency domain, we calculate the Fourier transform of image, and whatever operation we want to perform, that Fourier transform is also calculated. Then we multiply them together, take the inverse Fourier transform, get the enhanced image. Whereas in spatial domain, we directly manipulate the pixel values. So the direct manipulation of pixel values is the intensity level image enhancement, that is spatial domain image enhancement. So intensity level transformation, as we have also discussed in previous lecture, that there may be power loss, there may be root loss, and there may be linear relationship also. So the first relation is power law, that is S equal to C R to the power gamma, where C is constant, R is input pixel value or intensity value, gamma may be any constant. If it is a power law, it may be more than 1, and S is output intensity value. And accordingly, intensity values will be changed. Log transformation. Log transformation, the transformation function is written as S C log of 1 plus R, where R is that input intensity value, S is output intensity, and C is constant, where R is your input intensity value that must be greater than or equal to 0. For a 0 value, how can you calculate? Because if you substitute R 0 here, so it becomes 1, and log of 1 is 0. So there won't be any, for 0 the output is 0 like that. So this transformation is applicable for all non-zero intensity values. The log curve which we get between S and R, that maps narrow range of low gray level values, in the input image into wider range of output values. If you can see, there are two diagrams in this slide. Original data set in the input, that is histogram. And if you look at the second one, there has been wide range. There is wide range that is displaying. So what does log curve, log transformation do? Log transformation maps low level intensity values into wider range of output grayscale values. So therefore, log transformation is used to expand the values of dark pixels in an image while compressing the higher level values. So if there are dark pixels whose intensity values are very, very low, that will be expanded, and higher values will be compressed. Because see here in the first picture, few intensity values have very high value, but other values, I mean, that indicates darker pixels, and there are some higher intensity values also, and there are pixels. So it's a kind of, the distribution, expansion and compression take place, and we get the wide range of pixels. It compresses the dynamic range of images with large variations in pixel value. So one can see that there is variation, there is wide range of pixel values in the second image. It is used in different applications. especially when we are interested to modify the contrast of an image. These are the, this is one example where input image, this is logarithm, and this is the anti-logarithm component. Logarithm component, anti-logarithm component. So when you calculate logarithm, you will get this image. The anti-logarithm gives this particular picture. As I told you that all image enhancement methods are not only used for visual perspective, that is to get better a visual appearance, but there are many other machine related applications for which these operations and transformations are used. Anti-log just reverse to inverse to logarithm transformation, and that is used to, this is used to expand the values of high pixels and compressing the dark level pixels. Just opposite. In logarithm, we have seen that it expands, that logarithmic transformation expands dark pixels and compresses that is higher values. Here, the dark pixels are compressed and the high value pixels having higher values are expanded. So there is one more example. You can see that the output of inverse logarithm and logarithm. In logarithm, you can clearly see that the higher value pixels are little lowered and darker level pixels are expanded. And this is a reverse process in the inverse logarithm transformation. Then comes gamma correction. These are all examples of intensity level transformation method. Gamma correction is very important method, especially in CRT and other rasters where the monitor display is there. In order to get the appropriate display in the monitors, this gamma correction is required. The process used to correct power law response phenomena called as gamma correction. For example, cathode ray tube devices have an intensity to voltage response. Intensity to voltage response. In CRT, what happens? That we get the intensity as a response to voltage, because the cathode rays come and strike on fluorescent wall where there is a coating of that type of material which emits light when the voltage or the electrical current strikes there. So the power function with exponents varying from exponentially approximately 1.8 to 2.5. So you can see one here, that input output characteristic, that the camera has, for example, linear function between input output relation, but eyes, for human visual understanding, eyes want a different type of input output characteristic, that is voltage to or intensity to the response to voltage. So eyes need different thing. So for that there is a raster, and that raster setting, that you can say that ratio is corrected, which is called as gamma correction. So these are the examples of gamma correction. There is one image. You can see that after correcting using gamma correction, the pictures are looking much better. More number of details can be seen in the second, third, and fourth image in the first example, and similarly in the second example also. So generally, the aspect ratio, when there is aspect ratio which is imbalanced, and because of improper aspect ratio, we are not able to see the picture with more clarity. There we use the gamma correction. Piecewise linear transformation. Piecewise, as its name suggests, it's not completely linear, but it is piecewise. If you see the characteristic, the definition is all clear. See, in there are three linear parts in the output input characteristic. First one, then second one, and then third one. So therefore piecewise linearity is there. In the first part linearity is there, in second part also linearity is there, but the slope, the magnitude of slope in that linearity or in that linear relationship is different. So contrast stretching, gray level slicing, bit plane slicing are other examples of piecewise linear transformation. Contrast stretching is that we have discussed in previous lecture. It is used to enhance the low contrast images. Low contrast images, why do we get low contrast images? Because when low contrast images are there, that needs correction in order to improve the contrast value so that its appearance can be made better. The reasons for poor contrast are poor illumination. We know that how an image is formed. There is a source of energy from where the light is incident. So that illumination source is not strong, is poor. So the incidence and the reflectance component accordingly will not have proper values. And the image formation might have been probably not correct. And because of that, we need to improve the contrast. Wrong setting of lens aperture during image acquisition. While acquiring the images, the aperture of lens maybe might be incorrect. The setting was incorrect. That is also one of the reasons for poor contrast. And contrast stretching methods, contrast enhancement methods are there to improve the contrast value, but contrast stretching is also one of them which can be implemented using piecewise linear transformation. You can see the piecewise linear transformation function, and there is one example, and you can see the result which are shown in third and fourth part of this diagram. What we can see in third and fourth part of this example is, the grains or grain like, the dots and holes which are there in seed like structure can be seen with better visibility. So why it is happening? Contrast is improved, because we know that contrast is actually the difference between two neighboring or two adjacent pixels. Whenever the difference lies in the adjacent pixels, the image is shown. Image is visualized. Otherwise, we can't see the images. And this is why we see the improved contrast in the other images. And this darkened image is the original image which is subjected to the piecewise linear transformation method. Histogram. After discussing contrast enhancement, let us discuss histogram enhancement, histogram based modification. Histogram can be equalized, histogram can be changed, and then we can enhance the image. But before we study and discuss image enhancement using histogram equalization, let's understand what the histogram is. As we know that image or a digital image for computer is nothing but a matrix. It's an array which consists of pixel values, grayscale values. It is always stored in the form of matrix. So say this matrix is denoting or indicating an image. The dimension of matrix is very small. This much smaller size of image generally won't be there. But for example, in order to understand, suppose this is a representation of a digital image, where these zeros 1, 2, 4, 5, 2 are the grayscale values. So if we can see the matrix very carefully, we'll find that if you count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are pixels, there are 5 pixels whose grayscale value is 0. Probably they are very dark, like black dot or black pixel. So in histogram, what do we do? Histogram is like a bar diagram, bar representation, where on y-axis we denote number of pixels, and on x-axis we denote that equivalent intensity value. So on x-axis we express the intensity value, and the corresponding number of pixels having that intensity value is expressed on y-axis. So if you see this histogram, 0, it has 5, One having intensity value 1, the pixel number of pixels is 6. Count here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The intensity value 2, the pixel number of pixels is 5. Count the number of 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Similarly, there is no 3 here. 3 intensity value, there is no pixel. If you see 4, how many pixels are there whose grayscale value is 4, 1, 2, 3. So probably, yeah, it's 3. 5, how many pixels are there whose intensity value is 5? Only 1. So there is 5. This is called as histogram that actually represents intensity value distribution in an image. The grayscale value distribution in an image. How does image look like? You can understand from the histogram also that which side the distribution is more. If the distribution is more towards higher value side, it means it will be bright image. When the distribution is more towards lower values, the image will be darker image. So an image understanding can be made by seeing and observing the histogram. And if we change the histogram, suppose the number of pixels having 0 intensity value is 5, we make it 3. So lesser pixels will be there having dark pixel grayscale values. This is how we are making slightly brighter. So we can make brighter to darker or darker to brighter or in between by modifying, by changing, by manipulating the histogram. And those methods are called as histogram based methods. An image has low contrast. Look at the picture when the complete range of possible values is not used. If you look at the histogram here, see the picture, we know that it's looking like almost same color. It's a grayscale image. We also sometimes call it as a black and white, but black and white is a colloquial term. Black and white does not mean there are only 2 colors, black and white. But when we say grayscale, all possible combinations of black and white are there. So this is a grayscale image and this is its histogram. What does histogram say? That intensity value 100, the pixel with intensity value 100, and the maximum pixels are around, maximum pixels are around that grayscale value 100. So the contrast is poor, because when there is a contrast, there must be distribution of intensity values. When there is a distribution, it means all different possible grayscale values have pixels present in the image, and that clarity or that type of image for human visual perspective is considered as a better picture. So therefore, we call this image as poor contrast image. Now, so this can be if we distribute these intensity values, the quality of picture will improve. How do we perform histogram operation? You look at that, you choose some pixels, use some transfer function, point operation or matrix operation, and then you have to, if this is a histogram, continuous histogram, this can be widened. Look at the second part. Widened. Widened means the distribution is in narrow band. We are distributing on wide range, on wide band, over wide band. So it's distributed over wide band. It means the intensity values are distributed over more range of grayscale values. And therefore contrast will be better than that of narrow histogram. So this is what we do in the histogram operation. Look at here. This is the low contrast image. In high contrast image, if you compare, the pixel values have been distributed from lower value to higher value. Whereas in the first image, most of the pixels are centered only into a narrow span, narrow window, limited range of grayscale values. Whereas in the second diagram, we can see that from lower to higher, the number of pixels are distributed, assigning or assigned with the different grayscale values. So the histogram with small spread, small window corresponds to low contrast image, mostly dark, mostly bright. Even if they are bright, even if they are dark, Mostly dark, mostly white. Mostly white means all the values are very high, but they are centered in a narrow window. Narrow window. Are mostly gray. Mostly gray. Histograms with widespread or wide window are high contrast images, and that is considered as better image. This is one property you can say. What is the property? Narrow window histogram, low contrast image. Wide window histogram, better image, or high contrast, better contrast images. Histograms clustered at the low end correspond to the dark images very clearly. All clustered in the narrow band, and that too towards low value. So they are dark because we know that for dark images, intensity values, grayscale values are low values. And histogram clustered at high end correspond to bright images. So there are two histograms we can see here in this slide. The first histogram is for dark image and the second histogram is for bright image, because in the second one, more clustering, more pixels are aligned towards higher values, whereas in the first one, more pixels are centered or clustered towards lower value. Therefore, it's dark. So dark and bright images they are good, but we want better image having decent, having balanced dark with good contrast value. It's not like that all are bright pixels. So the image will be very bright. So the brightness control is an also important factor. If you remember when you watch television, with your remote of your TV, brightness control, intensity control, contrast control, all are there. So if you make brightness control 100%, then all your pictures look very bright without carrying many meaningful information. So you always choose some, medium or some higher value, maybe 70% or 60% of brightness, 60% of contrast or 50% of contrast. Like that you choose. You cannot choose 100% of brightness setting in your remote control. Otherwise the images will be completely brightened images. And that for human visual perception, understanding is not considered as better image. Histogram equalization. So what do we do in histogram equalization? If you see the two images, we'll understand. See the first image, poor contrast. Why it is poor contrast? If you see the histogram, we'll find that most of the pixels are clustered in the narrow band. And in the second histogram you look at, it has been distributed over wide range of grayscale values. Therefore, the contrast of second image, more clarity is there, better contrast is there. So whatever, the structures, wooden structures or some iron structures are there behind this boy can also be seen, right? The grill and the persons that the boy face, the hairs, hairstyle, his jacket, the printed, some symbol on his jacket can also be seen clearly in the second picture. Why? Is because of contrast. So you can understand how does contrast play an important role in image processing, especially when the interest in image processing is to understand the images from human eye perspective. We want to introspect something. We want to observe something that is not mostly for machine understanding, but that is mostly for human understanding. But it's not that the contrast or histogram equalization, they are only used for human visual understanding. They are used for machine visual understanding as well. In medical image processing, in cancer detection, the contrast, the tumor detection, the contrast enhancement, the histogram equalization play a significant role in detecting the most affected abnormal area in the medical images. These are some more examples. You see here the first case where the histogram distribution is there. Second case looks like having better contrast because the distribution is over the wide band. This is the cumulative histogram. This is the example of cumulative histogram. Cumulative means you can apply histogram equalization method again and again. So if you see first one, then second one and third. So in a certain manner, you want to apply histogram equalization 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. You can change the histogram equalization function again and again, and that you can do. So see the picture, that there is one picture and there is second picture. First picture, we are not able to see anything. It's looking like very dark. Even though the second picture is bright, but the difference or the details of the image can be understood more clearly as compared to the first image. So the contrast is better in the second image as compared to first image. So what we can do, that we can again and again apply based on our requirement, based on our need, we can again apply the histogram equalization that we can achieve, we can do in cumulative manner. So that is called as cumulative histogram. See one more example, that probably this is an image of moon. There was a mission called as Chandrayaan who captured the first moon image, right? And this is the pixel value histogram. And you see here the distribution in the histogram of enhanced image. And can you see how, contrast enhancement is important? In the first image, you are not able to see anything properly. There are two, one whole kind and two other, structures can be seen. But better clarity, the dimension also can be measured. If there is any possibility of water, is there any water or some other element present in those holes, that can also be analyzed if you have better understanding, better visualization effect in the images. So why it's happening? Why we are getting this? We are getting this because of improved contrast. Look at another example, that cumulative histogram, as I told you. Cumulative means we are just changing. So this is the characteristic. And finally, suppose the initial histogram is like this. You can see that in initial histogram, the lower value pixels are very less in number, whereas high intensity value pixels are in large number. 25,000 pixels are there whose intensity value is more than 200, you can see. And therefore the first picture is looking like white picture, white color picture, even though blackish portions are there, but it's looking like a white color picture, white color image. So by changing the contrast, by applying it again cumulative manner, we can see whatever details we are interested in. So in the first image, the clouds, were not visible, but in the second image, on the background, something is visible. But whereas in first one, there was no background, but in the second one, background and foreground both are present, and that too, background is clearly differentiated from the background. The foreground is differentiated from background. Histogram can be taken also on a part of the image. Suppose we want to analyze, we are interested only in certain area. We are interested only in certain area. We want to inspect something in this area only. So selectively, you can apply the histogram equalization. Selectively, you can apply the histogram, that is cumulative histogram equalization. And accordingly, you can see here the output which you can find. So that is there. Contrast stretching, I have already discussed what the contrast stretching is. We stretch the contrast. We can use the full grayscale values rather than having limited value. We can use, for example, a transformation function, sk equal to 255 minus rk minus minimum divided by max minus mean, where max and mean are maximum value and minimum value present in the full grayscale range in the image. And you can again see here that this is the enhanced image and this is the input image. I'm not saying that the second image is looking better than the first image. Probably first one is better. So this is the effect of contrast. I mean, contrast manipulation, contrast modification, contrast stretching, contrast enhancement. Histogram equalization is example of contrast enhancement. Histogram equalization, contrast stretching, contrast enhancement, power law transformation, all these are intensity level image enhancement. Why their intensity level image enhancement? Because in all these methods, we are manipulating intensity values directly, pixel values in the present in the image directly, and therefore they are all under intensity level transformation method, intensity level enhancement method. See the output. This is the input image and this is the output image. You can find that there are presence of some materials, presence of some water, or some food step or something like that can be seen. What is present there in second image is it has much better visibility as compared to first one. It is because of the improvement in contrast of the image. So this is about the contrast stretching. These are some more examples. Look at the first picture having the contrast value, pixel value histogram, where you can see around 100. This example was included in the beginning of the presentation today. And if we change the histogram like this, you see the change in the face. And if we further apply cumulative histogram method, you see the third image. So how does histogram equalization? How does contrast stretching, work? You can understand from this example. See the first image, compare the second image with first one, then again compare third image with the second one. You will find that third image is looking much better image as compared to first and second, that is both first and second images. So this is the power of contrast enhancement or power of histogram equalization method. So let us sum up this lecture today. This lecture is all about intensity level transformation method. Intensity level transformation method is a method in which there is direct manipulation of pixels. There is direct manipulation of grayscale values. The way we modify the grayscale values, accordingly the change will be there in the image. There are different methods, like there are transformation methods. We can apply some power law transformation, root transformation method, linear transformation method. That input intensity value is there, accordingly you can double or you can make 3 times all intensity values in a linear manner, or you can change it exponentially, you can decrease it exponentially. So there may be different laws, power laws. The input intensity value to the power something, and that power term may be positive, negative, more than 1, more than less than 1, like that, and accordingly there will be change. So that's one method, whereas the second one is focused on histogram. We know that the histogram is the distribution of intensity values, and histogram projects the number of pixel values corresponding to particular intensity value. So on the basis of histogram, we can see that where is the clustering of the pixel values in the histogram. That indicates whether there are more pixels having higher intensity values or whether there are more pixels having lower intensity values. We want a balanced output, balanced picture, better quality picture. So for that, we can apply histogram equalization method, by which we can convert the narrow window histogram into wide window histogram, so that the picture becomes better. In this example, which you can see now, this is very, obviously it can be seen here that the third image is, its quality is much better than the first and second image. So that is the power of, that is how the histogram equalization works. You can compare the first histogram and second histogram. Second histogram, wide distribution is reported, is observed. Then there is similar enhancement method, which also operates on the basis of contrast. Contrast is nothing but, again, you are manipulating the intensity values. So contrast stretching method, contrast enhancement method, contrast modification method also make the picture quality better. And that especially when the human visual, the observation perspective is concerned. So histogram equalization or contrast stretching are almost similar methods, but histogram equalization function can be designed using any linear, non-linear exponential functions. Similarly, contrast can also be achieved by that. The contrast enhancement method is very useful for remotely sensed images, for medical images where fine details are to be separated from a big object or a big size, big dimension image. So there it plays an important role in the image processing. So this lecture is all about intensity level transformation method, and that's all for today's lecture. Thank you.